What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tru Element 78 in the building with,
Your one and only reigning defending Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer, the X-Man, Xavier Mustafa.
and we are without Chris Black today. He is drinking through a straw, from what I've heard. But for more about that, I will pass it over to Xavier Mustafa to give you guys the church announcements and let you guys know what's going on with the natural Chris Black.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had heard a rumor that Chris Black and Jay Manny were attacked over the weekend, and then we are actually got some video footage of the aftermath. Apparently, they were attacked. It is a rumor that it could be the Dark Match Mafia that attacked them. It just said that there were four men seen running from the scene. Chris Black pretty much got the worst of it, so he was transferred to a medical facility. He was released just today, so he is at home recuperating. Whereas Jay Manny, he was able to go home. From what I understand, he's not in the best of shape, but neither one of them will be able to perform this Saturday at the Showcase of Champions 5, where they were supposed to be in a triple threat tag match. So we just made an announcement today that uh, Chris Black's partner Jordan Harrison is going to have to find a partner, and that Rico De La Vega, who they usually have a three-man team with the Caribbean Connection, so all three of them are kind of the Caribbean Connection. So Rico De La Vega will just take Jay Manny's spot, so they're still good in this. But we do have some people investigating to get down to the bottom of this. Dark Match Mafia, they said that they were not part of this. There was a cell phone that just happened to have a Dark Match Mafia logo. They said it was a fan and not one of theirs. So we'll see. We'll get down to the bottom of it hopefully soon.
Those Antifa thugs, whoever did this. But
Probably they probably did that, and then they probably go to Kenosha and then set some stuff on fire.
but so this is for Showcase of Champions, which is taking place this Saturday, correct?
Yep, this Saturday at the Root River Center. Tickets are $20. They're still available. They're available at the building. They actually sell tickets for us now, and then they're available at legacyprowi.com and facebook.com/legacyprowi.
Any VIP?
No VIP on this one.
All right. Yeah, so it's messed up to hear about the natural Chris Black. We wish him a speedy recovery, So other than that, we are here to give you guys our predictions for AEW's All Out pay-per-view. This is pretty much AEW's WrestleMania. It was supposed to take place in Chicago, Illinois, in the Sears Center, but obviously due to COVID, it will be taking place at the Daly's Place, where they've been running all of their shows down in Florida. So we're here to give you guys our predictions for what is going to happen on this show. So that is taking place on Saturday as well. So I am planning to attend the Legacy Pro show at the Root River Center this Saturday. Tickets are $20. I am planning to attend that show, so I will more than likely be missing out on the AEW show. I may catch a replay later on, but there's no guarantees of that. So, but like I said, we're here to give you guys our predictions. Started
You know
things
what? I'm going to send a stern letter to Tony Khan and ask him why he's running on the same day as Legacy Pro.
counter programming, baby. The rumors going around is that WWE might be fleeing from Wednesday nights due to Tony Khan.
I read about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't think it's
Are the
true.
ratings that big of a difference to make that matter?
I don't know. From what I've heard, and you would probably know better than me, AEW this week was a turd due to the results of the Iron Man match that they had. But we're here to talk about AEW and not.
All right. We'll say that for the show.
Yeah. So, match number one, we're gonna have Matt Hardy taking on Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match, which I imagine is just a hardcore match. This match has kind of turned into a blood feud due to incidental blood from Sammy Guevara being overzealous with a chair shot to Matt Hardy's head. And honestly, I'm kind of really invested in this match to see which direction they go. I am going to predict that Matt Hardy defeats Sammy Guevara, though.
All right, so I'm pretty public about my dislike of AEW, but I will say this match I am looking forward to is two people that I really, really like in wrestling. I think the win has to go to Sammy Guevara, though. Gonna put the young talent over.
Yeah, I can see that, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Matt Hardy. The thing also that's been kind of weird with Sammy Guevara, it hasn't even been seeming like he is aligned with the inner circle as much anymore. He's just been going out to getting his ass handed to him by Matt Hardy week after week, and nobody's been coming to his aid. So I really don't know where they stand with Sammy Guevara right now.
It's
Next
been a
up,
big thing in
oh,
okay.
go
Never
ahead,
mind.
go ahead.
I was saying it's been the thing in wrestling. People getting beat up, no referees come down, no security. Just let them get beat up. What's up with that?
Right. What's up with that? Next up, you got Chris Jericho taking on Orange Cassidy in a Mimosa Mayhem match. In this match, you can win by pinfall, submission, or by knocking your opponent into a pool of mimosa. So the demo god, I believe the demo god will be taking a bath in this match, and as well as the rest of the inner circle.
Yeah, I definitely see the god of the demos taking a little dip. I I just think it's very, very creative how they came up with this match with Orange Cassidy, and then you have the bubbly, and it's like, oh, mimosa. So I will give them an A for creativity on putting that together.
I've liked how, and I haven't listened to Jim Cornette um, in a while, so I don't know what his thoughts are. I know how he feels about his boy Pockets, but I'm not sure how he's felt about basically how they've been going about this feud. But Chris Jericho on this week's show made a point to lay out everything he's done for Orange Cassidy in this feud. He's like, he's put him over. He's made him into a main event star. He's shown that the guy knows how to wrestle. He's shown that the guy knows how to cut a promo. He's done everything for Orange Cassidy. All the knocks that people had against Orange Cassidy, that he was just a joke or that he was just some stupid gimmick, has been proven wrong in this feud with Chris Jericho. And I was a fan of Orange Cassidy prior to all of this, but it is 100% true that Chris Jericho has really elevated Orange Cassidy, in my opinion, in the eyes of a lot of people who didn't think that there was any talent there in Orange Cassidy.
It's weird. I think my biggest thing with Orange Cassidy is I don't know the longevity of that type of character, and that's something that always concerns me. You can see the longevity with somebody like Chris Jericho. That's somebody that can constantly reinvent themselves to something different, but still kind of be the same. Where Orange Cassidy is like, okay, where do you go next with Orange Cassidy? Do you have Orange Cassidy versus Moxley? Do you have Orange Cassidy versus Brian Cage? Like, what do you do after this?
I believe what this feud has shown is that the opponent has to be anything that you do with Orange Cassidy is gonna have to be a program. It's not something you can hot shot, try to book over the course of like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It has to be booked out for months because of you have to get him motivated. They've done that with Chris Jericho. This feud has been going on for like 4 months, and like in the beginning. Remember, they were just beating Orange Cassidy down. He wasn't really caring, and they just kept
Hmm.
beating him and kept beating him and kept beating him. And then finally, he reached that point where, okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna be doing the shin kick. I'm not really gonna be putting my hands in my pockets. I'm coming out here and I'm going full throttle for 15 minutes with you out here in this ring. So I really don't know where you go with a character like this. I do know that I believe after the Chris Jericho feud, I think that he's gonna probably fall back because, like you said, the longevity of a character like this is at risk when you're overexposing them and allowing them to wrestle week after week after week after week. He has to go back into chill mode and relax again. So I really don't know. It'd be interesting to see if like Matt Riddle ever came to AEW or Orange Cassidy went over to AEW. That being a tag team because it'd just be two bros. This the
OJ Bro.
yeah the whole stoner gimmick will really work out.
But then think about it. Orange Cassidy really isn't high at any point. So what if he
How
started
do you
getting
know?
high?
He has on sunglasses.
so, so what does he like fall asleep at that point when he's if he's high? When he's normally not that,
He's
I
basically
don't
the
know.
sloth from Zootopia, if anybody's ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
Next up, you got the women's. Oh yeah, okay. The AEW women's title match. The champion Sheeta taking on the NWA women's champion Thunder Rosa.
So I think on paper this is going to be a good match. I don't think it's going to be one to miss. I don't know who I'm picking this. I would assume it has to be the AEW champion, but I kind of don't know what this agreement is between AEW and NWA. Um, yeah, I'm going to go with the AEW champ.
I'm hoping that they actually give us a finish to this match, and I think Thunder Rosa should take it because I think NWA needs as much promotion as they can while they're not running shows. And Thunder Rosa has won gold everywhere that she's been. So this just keeps that gold rush going for Thunder Rosa.
You know what? I didn't think about that, and you make a good point. That does make me want to change my vote. But the only thing that scares me about that too is that means in the last 3 months that title has changed hands 3 times.
Yeah, but it all depends on who it changes hands to. And I think Thunder Rosa is a legit enough competitor for Sheeta to not lose anything by losing that belt to her. Also, like I said, NWA isn't running any shows, and so it's not like that belt is going to go appear in the NWA either, depending on how long they
Mm-hmm.
let Thunder Rosa carry it. So she's pretty much a contract star with AEW right now so that she can make some coins. So I don't think there's any worry about having Thunder Rosa win the AEW women's title. Also, if they do that, they get to claim the Rosa two belts and make fun of
The
how
ghost belts.
and make fun of how pretty much WWE has been destroying the women's division by keeping the titles on one woman or on a tag team. So I don't know. I think if Thunder Rosa wins, it's kind of a knock at the WWE, and I hate to be that guy that says that or tries to make that a thing, but I think that it would kind of be a knock against WWE on how to actually have one woman hold two belts. But I also think that it will help further Thunder Rosa, who I just posted on Twitter, is the future of wrestling. Not the future of women's wrestling, but she is kind of the future of this business. Like as someone who hasn't been wrestling that long in Thunder Rosa, she has marketed and branded herself where she is one of the biggest names on the independent scene. She's even selling brat styles. They're selling brat styles of Thunder Rosa now. So I think I think she went. I think she defeats Cheetah, and she's rocking that AEW and the NWA title for probably 3 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my pick to Thunder Rosa. I think it's a bigger upside by doing that with her, just based off what you said.
Yeah. Um, Next up, you got Omega and Page taking on FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championship. On this week's edition of AEW, they pretty much just had a gigantic. Um, pardon me. They had a. They're still teasing the dissension, I should say, between Adam Page and Kenny Omega because Adam Page came out and was essentially kicked out of the Elite by the Young Bucks on the previous week's episode of AEW Dynamite. And so they're trying to figure out where Hangman actually stands, that FTR has gotten into his head and that he may turn on Kenny Omega. So it ended with Kenny Omega leaving Adam Page in the ring by himself while Adam Page got rid of FTR. And when he went to hand the belt to Kenny Omega, he saw Kenny Omega was staring at him from the outside of the ring. So I think that this may be one of those things where Kenny Omega is going to get Adam Page before Adam Page can get Kenny Omega. And I see FTR winning these tag team titles.
I definitely see FTR winning. I definitely see the implosion between Adam Page and I keep wanting to call him these nicknames that Jim Cornette has for him. Kenny Omega. But then I'm like, okay, what do we do with FTR after that? Do we finally get the match of the millennium that everybody's been waiting for? Is that the time for the tag team titles? I'm kind of interested to fast forward and see what happens there. But FTR, I think, for the win. Implosion between Kenny Omega and Adam Page is also a prediction.
Right, and I say FTR wins the belts because they're really the only heel tag team for the most part. You have the Lucha Brothers and you have Proud and Powerful, which I guess are heel tag teams, and maybe and the Butcher and the Blade or whatever. But for the most part, you got the Jurassic Express, you got SCU, you got Private Party, you have the Young Bucks, like you have the Dark Order who could just get ran through and go out there and lose to FTR and or whatever. Like they have a deep tag team and it's pretty much 50-50. So for FTR to go out there and defend those belts against the Jurassic Express, to go out there and defend against SCU and all these other tag teams, in the meantime, until they do get to that Young Bucks match, I think that's the great ideal. And even when they do face the Young Bucks, I don't care when it happens. I don't care how the story unfolds. I think FTR defeats the Young Bucks as well. But that's for down the line. So finally, we get to the main event, which is going to be Jon Moxley taking on MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And this is one of those that I am really going back and forth on who should win. But at the end of the day, I keep landing on MJF, even though I do not think that MJF is really ready to carry the weight of that championship. He is a good promo. He is a decent wrestler. I just don't think that he has the stuff to carry that world title at this point just yet. But Jon Moxley has been doing nothing with this belt and doing nothing for me.
So, you know what? I've been agreeing with you a lot on this show. This normally doesn't happen. Usually I'm on the other side of the fence with you. But I agree. This Jon Moxley title reign has been NyQuil, if anything.
It's been on the same level as his WWE title heavyweight championship run, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And my only concern with this one again is always think about longevity. Do we want to blow our wad so fast and put the title MJF? Because I think MJF could be a great middle card heel to get some people over to that next level, and then he comes up to that next level, and then he wins the title, like maybe later on. Maybe this is a little too early, but at the same time, there is no other top heel. You know, they're trying to do it with Luke Harper. Is that the right one? Luke Harper, that's not getting over. Is Colt Cabana still a heel? He's not over. Um, who else they got? The big guy that Cody destroyed his character. The guy that's with Jake the Snake.
Lance Archer, but we're gonna talk about him in a second.
Yeah, you know, just like there's no big heel that is believable. So yeah, I'm going with MJF on this one.
And actually, there are two matches that I actually forgot about. You got the 6-man tag. It's supposed to be the Dark Order taking on Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares. Or 8-man tag, I should say.
Going with the baby faces on that one.
Yeah, after the way they beat the hell out of the Rhodes, I think that they already have their singles championship, so they can lose this match. But you know what? I think that them having the singles championship, they got to start legitimizing the rest of the team. I don't know.
We're talking about AEW here now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but they did the same thing with Jericho. Jericho was AEW champion, and they made his team just look trash. Like I don't think they won any matches while Jericho was champion. So I don't know if that's just wrestling and how things go, or if they were booking them terribly, like I was saying at the time. I don't.
Yeah, they're booking them terribly.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna pick the Dark Order. I think this is so hard. This is so hard because you got Matt Cardona, who you could do something with down the road, and I'm sure they want to do something with down the road. Uh, I don't. I'm gonna go with the Dark Order. I think the Dark Order needs to win this because I think that Brody Lee is in there, so he's probably gonna beat up QT Marshall or take out Dustin Rhodes or something. So, yeah, I'm going with the Dark Order on this one. And then finally, you're going to have the 21 man casino battle royale with the winner getting an AEW championship opportunity. They haven't announced that they're having a women's one, so I don't think that they will be. But they are having the men's. And the way that they set it up this week was they pretty much brought out everybody that's supposed to be in this match. And it started. Let me think back. Who did it start? Oh, it started with Taz and his team, which they are calling the FTW now. So it was Brian Cage and Ricky Starks all in the ring, and they were cutting a promo on Darby Allin. And then who came out? Oh, then they started cutting a promo on Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer, who was coming down and started threatening Brian Cage. And then Eddie Kingston came out with his crew of the Lucha Brothers and whoever else is in his crew. Eventually, that broke down into everybody brawling in the ring. They're bringing out Billy Gunn. They were bringing out freaking Proud and Powerful. They were bringing out pretty much anybody that didn't have anything else to do on the show came out there and was brawling around the ring. And I got to say this. I like you, Ricky Starks, but come on, man. You were throwing some of those Dark Order punches out there during that brawl. He hit Lance Archer with the most ginger blindside punch I've ever seen in my life in wrestling.
I think Ricky Starks is going through his I'm just happy to be here phase. But I need him to grow out of that because I didn't see much of that when he was in the NWA.
Well, I think he blasted
Yes, that's true.
he blasted Darby Allin and injured him damn near. And so he was overexcited in that moment, and now he's working with kid hands with everybody else. And that's the same thing with Sammy Guevara ever since he busted open Matt Hardy. But also ever since he busted open Matt Hardy's just been beating that ass. So when it comes to the Casino Royale and who's gonna win that and get that AEW title shot, if MJF is going to win the AEW championship as we're predicting, who would be the pick to win the 21 man battle royale?
Darby Allin is in it, right?
Yeah, he's in there. Like
I'm gonna go with him. Try to put him back on top again.
I was thinking Darby Allin, but he's been given a title opportunity already, and I don't really want to see Darby Allin cutting promos against MJF at this just yet. Even though him and MJF already had a beef, they're already entangled in a kind of a beef because he already cut the promo on him saying what if when Darby Allin had his match against John Moxley a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about, well, what if Darby Allin wins the AEW World Heavyweight Championship? He was like, so I'm supposed to be afraid of the 130-pound emo kid? That'd be even better for me.
Well, you know what? Jungle Boy, is he in it?
Yeah.
That'll be my pick. Because actually him and MJF had some really good chemistry anytime they did stuff with them in Jurassic World or Jurassic Order or whatever it's called.
Jurassic World. Yeah, I would say it has to be Darby Allin or Jungle Boy because everyone else is kind of a heel.
Yep, give it to him and MJF. I mean, people have been screaming for Jungle Boy to take that next step. Like, he is the guy that even Jim Cornette is behind in AEW. And, he ain't behind anybody in that little promotion. So, I think you'll get some good matches. MJF can get him over. Yep, that's my pick.
But do you think, like, I know you said they had good chemistry, but do you think that MJF is the guy to help elevate Jungle Boy to that next level?
He's the only one.
Not necessarily winning the belt, but
Hmm.
like going in there with a veteran who can like really guide you through the match. Like we can't forget that MJF is only 23 years old. He's grasped the microphone stuff. The in ring is okay. It's not particularly great, but him and Jungle Boy have about the same amount of time of experience, I believe. So is he the guy that you send in there to have a feud with Jungle Boy, who could really get Jungle Boy over and elevate him to that next level, the way Jericho did in their first match with in his first match with Jungle Boy?
Well, when I look at it, I look at who has the ability to get people over. We know Jericho; he's proven it. Cody, to a certain extent, definitely, definitely. I was gonna say Gold Dust. Definitely Dustin Rhodes. Um, I would have to say, granted, he's not at those guys' level, but I think MJF is the guy to do it. Unless you're gonna put him with a Jericho or something again.
Okay. Yeah, I can't give you guys a defined answer. Like I said, as I think to everybody that could possibly be in the battle royale, there's only two baby faces, and that's Darby Allen and it's Jungle Boy. Um, he's saying Jungle Boy. I'm gonna go with Darby Allen. I'm gonna go with Darby Allen, and he's not gonna win, but I think you could get 3 good months of story out of it
Yeah,
because Darby's willing to put his body on the line, and they don't do the whole WWE thing where the opponent is on TV every week. So Darby's willing to put his body on the line, get written off of television. You have MJF just cutting promos on Darby and all of those different types of things, and you have pretty much the rich kid rocking the Burberry scarf going up against the emo kid that's always been pushed down and pushed to the back and being brought to the forefront. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Darby. And that is your AEW All Out card for 2020. Other than that, you got anything else, Mustafa?
that's it. If you're not watching AEW, come on down to the River Center.
All right, let them give them the information one more time. And like I said, speedy. We wish a speedy recovery to our homeboy, the natural Chris Black.
And the show is going to be at the Root River Center at 7220 West Ralston Avenue in Franklin, Wisconsin. Tickets are $20, and you can get them at the venue, or you can get it at legacyprowi.com and facebook.com/legacyprowi.
You know what? I'm gonna push you one more time with this show because you've been promoting it. You've been putting it over, but I don't think you've been putting it over like you did last year. Explain to these people what the Showcase of Champions is for Legacy Pro, because I put over All Out, and All Out is pretty much the WrestleMania for AEW. Is pretty much what jump started everything for them. So explain to the people what Showcase of Champions are to you, because I know you put a lot of heart, soul, and effort into this show more than any other show throughout the year. So explain to the people what Showcase of Champions really is and what it really means and why they should come out.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm downplaying it a little bit now, because I'm just so like, I won't say exhausted, because I mean, I'm not exhausted by doing all the work that I do for it, because it's a great show. We do this every year. This is our fifth year, our fifth time doing it. And basically, what we do is mostly everybody that's on the card is a champion. So we invite all these people. So there's a lot of people that like our fans have never seen before that's going to be making their debuts. There's going to be titles on, of course, titles on the line. We got just to throw out a few names. We have Justin D. Xavier, JDX. JDX just main evented against ACH at the Black Wrestlers Matter show. This kid is only like 2 years in the business, and I don't say kid to be like, like to disrespect him or anything like that. I'm saying the kid because this man is 2 years in the business, and he's having great matches with people like ACH. So, and he's a great wrestler. He's going to be wrestling a guy by the name of Connor Hopkins, another young upstart. I don't think he's been in the business that long either. Kind of made for his name for himself in Illinois and Iowa area. He's coming up. We got RCCW. We got their tag team champions, who are also the Legacy Pro tag team champions, the Caribbean Connections. Um, it's really like I tell people, it's our WrestleMania. It's one of the biggest shows that we lead up to every year. Like everything leads up to Showcase of Champions, then everything leads up to the Thanksgiving, the New Year's Eve show. So those are our two biggest events. So
Yeah, so pretty much how we were talking about Thunder Rosa coming over from the NWA and wrestling in AEW for titles. That's pretty much what the entire Showcase of Champions are.
yeah, it's basically like if you had Drew McIntyre and
Interpromotional,
was that Keith Lee?
interpromotional showcase that is held here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is organized through Legacy Pro Wrestling. So be sure to come out and support. Like we said, it's Saturday, 7 o'clock is doors, right? Or is it 6:30?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock doors, 7:30 bell time. Be there, be square. For those who don't know, I've been missing a couple of shows, the Legacy Pro shows, being there live in attendance. But I will be in the building. I'm planning to be in the building for Showcase of Champions. It was my favorite show last year, and we saw some of these guys come in who we've never seen before, and the regulars of Legacy Pro even had to step their game up with some of them. Like there's highlights. If you haven't yet checked out our podcast, we're going to be posting the preview show on our podcast. You can also find the visual preview show. So we're going to post just the audio on the podcast feed. So go subscribe to Saturday Night Slamcasters wherever you get your podcast from. But if you head over to Legacy Pro Wisconsin YouTube page, you can see the visual, and it shows highlights from last year's show. It shows highlights from different competitors that are going to be appearing on the Showcase of Champions this Saturday. So yeah, be sure to come out and support. We know COVID has a lot of people afraid following COVID protocols. So bring your mask, come out and enjoy a fun night of professional wrestling and support independent wrestling.
I mean, last year I won a championship. I had to give it up though, but that's a long story.
No, story short as fuck. No. You got bitched out.
Very short. I think I was only champion for like 7 minutes, and that's because Armani talks too much.
Yeah, you saw TC Washington do Tope Suicidas last year. He was fighting some dude fresh out of the joint.
That's my Cobb. That video is on the Legacy Pro Wrestling YouTube page. That one ain't mine.
That was my match of the year independent show I saw last year. So, also, if you're in Milwaukee, we're not having a Mondo Lucha show this year. So definitely come out because this is going to be the biggest show in Milwaukee this year. I can guarantee you guys that.
Yeah, that really sucks about Mondo Lucha.
Yeah.
Thanks, COVID.
But other than that, go ahead and give out your social media. We've put over your show a lot.
You can catch me at Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also catch my other podcast, my solo podcast, XM Cinema. You can find that on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then you can find that podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search XM Cinema.
Now I want you guys to all go to XM Cinema to the podcast page and leave a thumbs down review, because this man had me put in a lot of work to help him out with the podcast as far as doing movie reviews, and we've only got Teenage Mutant.
I'm getting to him, man. Like Big Brother, you know, that's a process. It's 3 shows a week, you know.
So go ahead and downvote that. But what you can go and upvote is Saturday Night Slamcasters podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Be sure to subscribe to that. Also here on the YouTube page, obviously you're listening to us. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure you hit a thumbs up. And make sure, if you want to, you can go ahead and leave us a comment and ring that bell so you're notified whenever new episodes go up here. Currently, we are still in the process, I believe, of reviewing the Dark Side of the Ring Season 2, which The Undertaker, The Last Ride should be starting up soon for you guys to check out. So be sure to support. Also find us on Facebook at Saturday Night Slamcasters. And you can also find me on Twitter at Slamcaster TE78, excuse me, over there on Twitter. Other than that, we're about it here. Enjoy the shows tonight. If you're coming out to Legacy Pro, be sure to stop by and say what's up to Xavier Mustafa or myself. And other than that, holla at your boys. We up out of here. Peace. Come get slammed.